ho, ho, ho. Hey, babies, you know what today is? Today is a Merry Christmas. You didn't think I forgot about you, did I? Of course not. I actually went and climbed in the shed and started going through old books from many moons ago, and I found a little golden book that is a Christmas book with an old favorite. We love Rudolph. Excuse me. Georgia Bell says she wants to hear about Rudolph too. So Georgia Bell's going to come up here and she's going to read Rudolph with us. Tell them Merry Christmas, Georgia Bell. But you know what else today? Today is just not Merry Christmas. Today is another very special day. It's my Arwen J's happy birthday. My Arwen J is 5 today. Can you believe I've been a Mimzie for 5 years now? 5. Arwen J is a whole hand now. And we're going to read Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for Arwen J's happy birthday. All right, and it's a little golden book. You know Mimzie and her little golden books. Even when they're silver, they're still little golden books. So Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is another one of those books that's older than me, but the artwork is the same. This looks like the old Montgomery Ward's OG artwork. Did you know that Rudolph was written for Montgomery Ward's, a department store? Yeah, and it was, I think, free when you shop there. And then the guy that sang the song, I know his name. I know you're screaming at me. I know his name. But anyway, he didn't even want to do that. And it was his B-side on the record when he first sold the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer record. It was the B song that he did under duress, and it was his best-selling record of all time. Imagine that. All right. Once there was a reindeer named Rudolph who lived at the North Pole in Toyland. Rudolph was younger and smaller than the other reindeer there. They all had proud, tall antlers. Rudolph's antlers were only tiny stubs. Well, because he was a nubbin. He might even been, well, maybe he was I think he wasn't no. Yeah, let's just keep going. Worst of all, Rudolph had a nose that was big and bright red. It was so red, it glowed in the dark. That is red, y'all. I've seen some red noses, but glowing in the dark. Poor Rudolph. He wanted to be like the other reindeer in Toyland. Oh, to have a small brown nose instead of a big, bright red one. The other reindeer made fun of Rudolph and called him names. Tacky britches, tacky. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. They teased over and over again until tears glistened on Rudolph's large red nose. Probably didn't help to have a name like Rudolph. But anyway, it's not my business. Sometimes the other reindeer made a circle around Rudolph and sang, red nose, a funny sight, big as an apple and twice as bright. That's not even a good one, is it? They have to do better than that. They won't hurt my feelings. They kicked up snowballs with their tiny hoofs and covered Rudolph with a blanket of white, fluffy snow. Shame on them. Shame on them. All the other reindeer loved to play games. They played tree tag and snow slide and tumble bones. But Rudolph was never allowed to play. He stood behind a pine tree and watched. He was very lonely. Rudolph couldn't even play hide and seek with the rabbits. His glowing red nose gave him away every time. But I bet the rabbits love to play with him. They're probably always like, yeah, Rudolph, you go hide. We'll come find you. Before Christmas Eve, Santa's elf posted a sign on the gate to Toyland. It says, Santa's team choosing time. Ooh. All the reindeer were asked to line up at 8 o'clock in the meadow. Santa Claus was coming to choose the team that would deliver presents to every good little boy and girl in the world. The reindeer fairly danced with excitement when they heard the news. They pranced and tossed their hooves. Each reindeer hoped he would be chosen to guide Santa's sleigh. It was the greatest honor a reindeer could ever have. Well, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. It's a very important job. We only had to work one night a year. That's a pretty good gig. I need to figure out how that works for Mimzie. Rudolph sighed. He was ashamed to have Santa see his bright red nose, so he decided to hide. You know that never works, right? It never works to hide. You got to face those problems head on, says the ostrich. At 8 o'clock, When all the other reindeer had gone to the meadow, Rudolph hid behind a holly hedge. His bright red nose blended in with the bright red berries, and the thick growth of leaves concealed the rest of him. No one would ever find him there. Probably Clarice did. I know who Clarice is. In the meadow, all the reindeer in Toyland, except Rudolph, stood in line while Santa inspected them. Santa chose carefully. Only the fastest, the strongest, and the best reindeer would do. There goes Roscoe again, always trying to get his 2 cents in. I think Dasher will be fine. He's the biggest reindeer, said Santa. Dasher, wrote his elf assistant in a big book. And Dancer is the strongest, said Santa, pulling his beard. Dancer, wrote the elf. I'm going to skip any pages. Ho, ho, let's see, continued Santa. Here's Prancer and here's Vixen. They make the smoothest landings on rooftops. Comet is the fastest and Cupid is the most sure-footed, said Santa. I picked them. And last, said Santa, I choose Donder and Blitzen. That's thunder and lightning if you're German. They're best at twisting over treetops and skimming over telephone poles. I'm sure that's a very important skill to have as a reindeer for Santa Claus. The reindeer in Santa's team, in Santa's team were very happy, as they should be. Good job. Good job, girls, because we know. They rubbed noses, they danced and clinked their antlers together. Even the reindeer who weren't chosen were given good jobs. One was to try out electric trains. Another was to cuddle Christmas kittens. Oh, I like both of those jobs. Me and my daddy used to play with his electric train that was probably almost as old as he was in the floor when I was a little girl. And oh, that's just precious. Sorry, let me get back to the story. The only reindeer without a job was Rudolph, because he was hiding. He wanted to help, but he knew he would be laughed at, so he stayed hidden behind the holly hedge. I need to know where his grandmother was when this was going on, because his grandma would not have it. Absolutely not. We are not making fun of my babies. At last, it was Christmas Eve. Santa's elves were busy packing the sleigh. I don't care if they do make fun of me, said Rudolph suddenly. I want to help too. Go for it, Rudolph. He dashed from his hiding place behind the hedge and went to find Santa. There must be something I can do to help, he decided. Look at those pictures. Mimzie just loves these old pictures. I love it when they're pictures from my childhood, and I remember them. They like tickle my little brain cells. It's like the freight core memory unlocked happening as we read together. The night was bitter cold, and a terrible fog covered all the earth. Santa's elves kept bumping into each other as they hitched up the team. They could hardly see as they put on each bright red harness and tied each jingle bell. It's like that sometimes when I drive to work. To make matters worse, Dasher and Dancer were fighting over who was to be lead reindeer. I was chosen first, said Dasher, stomping angrily. But you always trip over the moon, said Dancer, kicking a fallen star. Even Santa was cross. We'll never get there if you two don't stop quarreling, he said. And where is my Christmas list? Dash it all, I can't see a thing in the fog. He probably just needs some spectacles. That would help a lot. Just then, a soft red glow lit up the snow. Thank goodness, said Santa, suddenly jolly again. I found my list. Ho, ho, I must have tucked it in my belt. Just like a man. I'm just kidding, because that's what Mimzie does all the time. I'll look for my glasses and they're on my head. Or I'm looking for my cell phone and I'm holding it. So I should not have said that. I'm so sorry, Santa Claus. Who brought this fine lantern? Asked Santa. I must take it with me. Why, I can see perfectly now. It's not a lantern, said Rudolph, trembling. The light comes from my nose. Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, said Santa. I'm certainly glad to see you. Your light will guide my sleigh tonight. I appoint you head of my team and #1 reindeer in all the world. He's going to guide that sleigh tonight with his nose so bright. Rudolph held his head high. Proudly, he pranced to the front of the team. All the other reindeer bowed Donder and Dancer helped Rudolph put on his harness, and Cupid gave him a beautiful sprig of holly berries. Oh. Then down through the clouds and over the sleeping houses, Santa and his team flew on the foggy Christmas Eve. And leading the whole procession was Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. So if you see a soft glow in the sky on Christmas Eve, you can be sure that Rudolph, the most famous reindeer of all, is very near. Oh, that was a good story. I hope y'all had a great, happy, Merry Christmas. And I hope my R1J had a great, happy birthday, because I love her so much. I just love all y'all.